I'm trying a different format for this video in the hopes of getting more done long term. So, for this video, I made a couple things I wanted to try out. The first is this little spring-loaded saw jig, and the second is an adjustable peg shaver based on a 1980s patent. Before I could try out either, I had to do some prep work. I printed out this sheet of templates, cut one out, and stuck it on a Paduke pen blank. I've got 8 more of these, and I got them so I wouldn't have to try this technique on the Purple Heart blanks I'm setting aside for my next project. No big loss if I ruin one. I took the blank to the bandsaw and slowly, carefully trimmed off one side to help set the depth stop on my little saw jig, and then sanded the blank a little so it would fit properly in the 3D printed end holders. Once I had everything set up, it was time to attempt to make a pair of tuning pegs. It didn't go so well. The idea was to score the piece down to circular and then chip away excess so it would go into the peg shaper. Instead, what happened was the pieces kept popping out of alignment because my design was bad and my workmanship on this holding contraption was shoddy and imprecise. After deciding this wasn't going well, I cut my losses and moved on to the peg shaper. That needed a test as well. The blade here was made from a cheap cookie spatula from the neighborhood store, and PLA is pretty cheap, so this didn't cost me much to make. I grabbed a dowel to try and shape in this abomination, and what I ended up with was maybe the beginnings of a taper and definitely too many gouges along the length of the dowel to be useful in an instrument. In conclusion, both experiments ended in failure. If I'm going to be making my own tuning pegs, I'll need a proper lathe. I'll probably get this one because I'm happy with the tools I already have from this manufacturer, and I doubt I'll find a better price. I might still be able to use the blade on the peg shaver, but I clearly chose a terrible design. I'll need to either try again with a different design or just buy a peg shaper. Not this one though, it's way outside my price range. Well, that's all for now. I'll be back again later with another experiment when I get the chance. And by the way, I finished the kalimba, but the high and low end notes still sound terrible. The issue has to be the tines. I'll need to do some refining work later.